the list is out. And the goalkeepers, we have Sakizili, Galen, we have Benjamin Asari. That time, the only
Sorry, we apologize.
we apologize. Benjamin Asari, Accra House of Food, Joseph Finance, St. Patrick, Athletic, I think it's in Ireland. And we have defenders, we have Patrick Pfeiffer, SV Darmstadt, Derek Lucassen, Kofos FC, Derek Kuhn. Finally, they competed. There was an issue with his international.
No, he actually played in the friendlies. He played against Korea.
So in that time,
Yeah.
but I remember he came for one of the qualifiers, but the switch was not complete, so he couldn't play. I have Jerome Opoku, Istanbul, Calabianchi, Nordisland, Kojo Okon, ODC Nice, Jonas Aditi, Forsberg, Marvin Senaya, who is in international battle at the moment. He's in an international battle at the moment because Togo have also named him. He's half Togolese, half Ghanaian.
Yeah, no, but I would have preferred the same thing I said about this guy's children. What is his name? The former Sika Akomo's children.
He was playing for Germany.
Yeah, but I would say your dad has coached
and
captain Ghana. So legacy should be your first choice.
Because I remember Akono saying the kids will decide with their sons.
So if you play for Ghana and if you coach Ghana, there should be some level of patriotism and legacy. Legacy should kick it. That is personally, if I was voting in Liberia and you are the president of Liberia and your child is playing for the USA, I would vote.
Yeah, but the argument is their mom is from the States.
So if you can't convince your child to play for Liberia, what can you do for him?
And they were born in the States.
That's not an argument. If you
So
can't
that was the argument. The argument was
if you can't convince your child,
the mother is from there.
No, I understand all the argument, but my argument is that if you can't convince your child to play for the country, how do I expect for Liberia, how do I expect you to fight for me?
The argument
Fight for my interests.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but they also went for people were also going for the other argument. Also, Senaya has been named by the Togolese.
Yeah, his father actually played for Togo between 1998.
His father.
Yeah.
So his mother who is Ghanaian, right?
His mother is Ghanaian. His father played for Togo.
Okay, so his father is rather Togolese than his mom.
His father actually played for Togo between 1998 to 2008. He has about 28 caps.
And I think it's similar.
I might be wrong on the caps, but I know the years are correct because I know his father might have played once against Ghana.
I think with that, it's something similar with Gaku. When Akuno, Akuno at some point spoke to Gaku. I think his dad is also half Togolese, half Ghanaian.
Yeah, his dad. Yeah, so he is Gaku's story is a bit of a stretch because his grandmother is Ghanaian.
But his dad is half.
His dad is half.
So he could have played for England. By that time, he wanted to play for the Dutch national team. We also have Alexander Jiku, who plays for Spartak Moscow, and Gabriel Mensah for there. Those are the defenders. Midfielders, we have Thomas Partey, Villarreal.
Imagine player of a few players playing for a team that is fighting relegation.
But it's good, to me, it's good fitness test. You have to play above them. It's like your goalkeeper of a national team playing for a relegation battling team. It means you'll get a lot of, you'll be in the mix. So there's a positive, there's positive and there's negative. So you are talking about which players are you talking about?
Talking about Senaya, I'm talking about the Mensah, and I'm talking
They're
about
all fighting for relegation.
The same thing was like
But
the Brian Osman was also there, but he just left. There were four Ghanaians in that team who would want to start against Ghana, but their team is fighting for relegation. Are they that good? That's the question I'm asking.
It depends. I don't think every player playing in a
relegation, battling team
doesn't mean the player is not good. And there's a typical example. We
Liverpool
Liverpool bought Robertson from Paul. And at that time we were going down. I think your defender, what is his name?
So there are always one or two.
Yeah, there are always good
one or two players there.
in the team.
But you had 4 players in that team.
Oh, but it could be different. Maybe the coaches' tactics. Because usually I don't really think. Yes, sometimes it could be the player, but sometimes too it could be.
I'm not saying they are not good, but I believe it's what they mentioned.
Oh yeah, it's strange. You could put it that way. It's strange, but sometimes too there can be quality players, but things are not going well for them that season. So midfielders, we have Thomas Partey, Villarreal, Elisha Owusu, Yazze, Ibrahim Sulemana, Cagliari, and Pesisibo, real of the I watched highlights of his game
I want to Villarreal.
Villarreal. They played Villarreal, right? Yeah, I watched highlights of that game. It wasn't that bad.
I watched his game too. It wasn't.
Yeah.
When he was not playing, he got a bit.
Yeah, but I think the new manager didn't trust. They got a new manager who was benching him, but now he started in again.
So the manager wanted the player, and the condition was that they saw him. If Sibo leaves, then they can buy the player. And then he refused to leave, and he stayed. So the manager didn't get his player.
So he has no choice but.
So the issue is if you didn't let me get my player, then I'm benching you.
But still,
and
fighting relegation.
So when they didn't leave to the contracts negotiation, or which was also going south, as it wasn't going out well. Then throughout all that, we started just benching.
But now they are playing, and he's playing well.
He's not a bad player. He's not as sharp as some of them, because Ghana's engine has always been a smithful. And
with him, if we just give him the role of just instructing
play,
he'll be okay. Just give him that role. Just stay there and frustrate people. I think that's his best role. That's what he does best.
Disrupt and
just disrupt and pass it to somebody else. With that, he'll be okay. And then the strikers. So we only have 4 midfielders, which is odd for an new team.
I believe it's a reclassification of wingers as forwards.
Okay, so attackers, we have Brandon Thomas Santi. I watched him Saturday. He came in as a substitute. They lost. I forgot the team they lost.
Southampton actually won 2-0 up.
Yes. And but I think they are in a good place. It's likely they will be promoted to the Premiership next season. Brandon Thomas Asante, Coventry, Jordan Ayew, Leicester, who is also fighting relegation. And I go to League One. We have Prince Edu of Victoria Prison. We have Christopher Bonsuba, a very, very talented player. I don't know why he went to the North. The money in Italy. Christopher Bonsuba.
We need to check that. A lot of the agents of Ghanaian, like
sometimes they open their salary to them and they don't even know.
We need to protect some of these players.
Especially when they are young. When they are
Harrison Afo, like this one, was moving from the Esperance, the Tunisian team. Marcel wanted to sign him. Rather, he went to the US money.
And the same with Inco. When he left Basel, I heard even Roma and some other teams were interested, but he went to some team in Ukraine because they offered him huge that thing, sometimes if you are not careful, you will kill your career.
You need to check that. Yeah, some of these agents are looking for players.
The money will be great. Sometimes, maybe
I won't be surprised they pay some of these agents.
Oh yeah, they pay
outside
them on the side. And the thing is, their salaries is tax free. In Europe, if you go above, I think 60,000 or 70,000, it's 45%.
That's the UK 44. That's the highest.
Yes. So even if you are making 200,000, you are getting around 100 and something. 100 and something in your chance. But if you go to the golf and they give you 200,000, it's 100,000.
Yes, that's true.
That's why sometimes, and I remember as a Asamoah saying that they paid him with a briefcase cash. After every game, they gave him the money, cash, and he can go to the bank and deposit it, or he can keep it in the house. That one was no money. So sometimes that's why the boys will go there. But at least nowadays, the good thing is they are normalizing people going there for maybe 2-3 seasons and coming back to you. At first, it was like the point of no return, but now
I believe some
are coming.
Some of these clubs even have partnership with
They are linked to the European team, so you can return. I hope that maybe after the World Cup, he's a very talented player. And then we have Abdul Fattah, which I have also fighting relegation. Then we have Inaki Williams of Atletico Bilbao. We have Samayo, the man of the moment. If I could say he's the most Ghanaian player for Manchester City. We have Kamal Dean Suleimana of Atalanta, another talented player, but decision making, I don't know, sometimes he can dribble 4-5 people.
He should have stayed at Rennes.
Get into the penalty. You know when he was at League One, he had more dribble accuracy than Messi.
Yeah.
The time that Messi was in there.
The issue is that when you're a certain age, coaches, franchises, teams, whoever, that's something everybody is patient with you because they expect you to do it.
Yes, like gradually.
But when you move to, you even had an injury at Rennes first, but when you move to England and the injury starts settling and your age starts going up, 21, 22, 23, 24, when you come back from injury, people are not as patient with you as they were.
Oh yeah, I think by this time you should be getting there.
You should have stayed in a league where you get some consistency over a long
period.
period.
To come to India. It was us.
How your scores a bit, sharpen it, all that. Then probably.
But it was Indian most of the time.
Yeah, well, even Atlanta is not playing on it. And I believe it should start at the basis of it. Just pass, ignore the dribbling and all that.
That's a start. You can dribble for 5 years. In the penalty box. And his final decision, either he will miss the post or he will pass it to someone who is not even used to the ball. Sometimes it's frustrating to them.
I personally believe it's either now or never.
Hopefully he will prove us wrong.
If he doesn't shine as Atlanta, that's it. You start getting, you start changing up to
but after some time you lose patience. And there's a player coming to the team for the first time, that day.
Yeah, he used to be Lauren, no, not Lauren, no, an English team before he went to.
He was in England, lower division.
Lower division.
Oh, okay.
Is it Luton Orange or Orange?
That one I don't remember. He now plays for Bucharest Sport in Turkey. He's a striker. Apparently, I think he scored 5 goals this season. So that's not bad. At least he's scoring and getting goals. So yes, we play Austria first. Do you think? I was going to ask. Well, the results. The results be something Ghanaians will be taking with. We paying close attention to, or they will say it is a friendly.
No.
Especially against Austria. Well, some Ghanaians believe Austria they should be able to play
even against them when they go against them. Ghanaians don't like losing to big teams and especially
for example, if you lose maybe 1-0 or 2-1 to Germany, I'm not sure people will complain to you.
Ghanaians
1-0 or 2-1 in Germany in a friendly game.
Then you have to play.
I'm not sure. Yes, that's what. Let's say they play well, but maybe they lose 2-1 or they lose 1-0, or let's say even 1-1.
It depends on how they lose. If it's not any mistake,
they played well.
If you played well and were beaten, maybe Ghanaians will be okay with it. But I personally believe the German team is not really.
Yes, actually, they struggled a bit to qualify. I watched most of their qualifications.
Yeah, Luton Arena. It was a Luton Arena.
Okay, before he went to Carlisle.
He played for Oxford United too in the League One.
Okay, he's spent some time.
Yeah, he's just scored 4 goals this season.
Four. Okay. I heard someone saying 5. Okay, so 4. So at least he's scoring and he's getting game time. That's the most important thing. And then Brandon Asante too is doing very well.
Yes, he scored a goal since he came back from injury.
Yes, and they are in pole position to qualify for the Premiership.
They are actually qualified.
Yes,
They are
second. Yes,
they are about 10 points from third position.
yes, Middlesbrough is second. Coventry is first. So two of like these 2 teams will qualify.
They have 8 games to go.
It looks like they'll qualify for the Premiership. I think it's looking that way. Coach Frank Lampard has done very well. It's like going to the Championship and bringing your own team into the Premiership. It means his coaching career is not dead. He has resurrected.
There is something I've realized with athletes. If you go to a big team,
The expectations are high.
Yeah, but if you go to a big team and expect them to play your way,
Difficult.
it must be very, very convincing. And whichever way you want them to play should yield results
Like,
early.
I always say the best coach is not the coach with the best tactics. The best coach is a coach who is able to influence a team easily. Look, I've seen coaches with the best tactics, but they can't relate it to the team. So if you talk to him one-on-one, you say, "Oh, this guy has ideas, man." And I've seen managers with average tactics, average strategy, but they have a way of impacting. Like their players feel like they have to play for this manager.
Yeah.
And those coaches are actually done wonders. So sometimes not always about the tactics that you hold. You can have very nice tactics, but the team won't play the type of football that you like. So I think with them, it's good that he's getting game time, he's scoring goals. How many goals are you scoring?
It should be like 12.
Wow, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. And I'm pretty sure that they'll maintain him when they come to the Premier League.
So the first 2 teams qualify automatically.
And then the third to sixth. I play a playoff.
Yeah. They are 9 points off the third team with 8 matches left.
I think they are first, Middlesbrough is second.
If they get at least 4 out of their last 8 games,
Another impressive team is Wrexham. Ryan Reynolds' team. They've climbed they started from the National League. Every league they get promoted, every year they get promoted. And it's a record in English football. Nobody has done that.
They were 2 years in League 2, but from League 2 to League 1.
They were in the National League.
Yeah, they were in the National League.
When they bought them were National League, that's like League 4 or something.
Yeah.
And then the first year they didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second year they were promoted
To League
1. To League 2.
League 2, yeah.
And then from League 2 they came to League 1. And they are now in the championship. It's never happened like that before, ever. And now they are in the playoff
Sports, yeah.
which also gives them it. So if they qualify for the Premiership, that would be a record.
I think their last games are this great.
Yes, but we've watched the game against Chelsea. You see how it gives Chelsea a tough time.
In their last game against
They scored Swansea. I watched that game, and that was a lookout that they are both Welsh teams, and they beat Swansea. So
they have the interesting thing is that
welcome to Wrexham. It's a series,
Yeah.
and I've been following them for. It's a very nice series. They've done pretty well for themselves.
If you look at the list, just like you said, it looks a bit heavy.
Yeah, four midfielders in the Ghanaian team. Yeah.
So now it seems that it's only the central midfielders who are listed as midfielders nowadays.
Yes, those who play the pivot.
Yeah, there's 6 and 8.
Yes.
Those are the only
So
positions.
now 10.
10.
Even there was a time that we used to have the
10,
wingers.
7, yeah. Midfielders.
So I think 11 were all midfielders, but now they are attackers.
They are all forwards, yeah. So, but still getting more of those. We don't have a lot.
Yeah,
We
but
have a lot
still
of
for a Ghanaian team, usually that's our.
And you can see that this guy is also listed as a defender. So
Yeah, he can also play as a midfielder. So what do you expect with the? Let's look at what you expect with the Austrians in the Austrian game, and then come to what you expect with the Germans.
it's not really about winning the game. It's about we knowing how we are going to win.
You playing well, playing with defined systems, pattern of play, and players playing a bit with confidence and some cohesion. If I see a lot of cohesion, I see a lot of confident play, and even if we don't beat Germany and we play like this, I'll be okay for now. Because I know by the time we play Wales and who's the other team that are playing?
Mexico.
And Mexico before the World Cup, we will be tightening some of these things. So my worry is sometimes we see them play and it's more of individual brilliance than teamwork, and that's been an issue of the Black Stars. And people are also worrying with players like Jordan, players like Patti, like those warming the bench, if I could put it that way, feel like they are not getting a lot of game time and might affect their fitness. What do you think?
That is why I would prefer Patrick in 90 minutes in both games.
Yes, to get to
Yeah, he needs the minutes. So no matter what, it's not an issue of protecting him or an issue of trying other players. Partey should play. I'm also happy because Partey, I personally believe Ibrahim Suleiman is a very good player.
Yeah.
And he can partner Partey.
They go
Yeah.
together.
But the issue is that for some reason, due to injuries to both of them, they never played together.
Yeah, always
In the national team. Yeah. Always one is injured or one is fit. So since for about 2 or 3 years since Ibrahim Suleiman started showing up in the national team, Partey has never played with them. And this actually offers us a chance to see how well they will do together. Because we've always had an issue with midfield pairings. We always claim we want to see a player who can do what Partey does, or who can actually be the sense of being a destroyer in the midfield and allow Partey to be actually free moving forward a bit. I personally believe if you set up well with prayer midfielders, Partey could actually be more offensive. And I believe when it's more offensive, his partnership with
he plays as a number 10.
Yeah, his partnership with Jordan is very deadly. They seem to understand each other. They seem to know how each other move. And during the World Cup qualifier, there was some deadly.
Yeah, I remember. Even
between them.
when we were playing the qualifiers for the 2018 World Cup, even though we didn't qualify, but I think I've never seen him score a lot of goals in the Black Stars for a long time.
Yeah.
He played more of a number 10 at that time, and he scored a lot of goals.
And also, I personally believe the newcomers, some are understandable, but I personally don't get. If you pick the Olympics, I believe there are Ghanaian players currently in the team that will do that. But I believe we kind of decided set pieces is going to be very central to our play. So what we've been doing is we are actually looking for bigger centre backs, and the Olympics actually is huge.
Yeah.
And I believe, if not, I personally believe this guy is far better. Jezebel.
Yeah, I wonder why he wasn't called.
So I personally believe if
Is there an issue with the referee?
no, that was he was injured. He just
But
but
no,
he's
he's
playing.
playing. Yeah, so I was
So
thinking
I was expecting him to be called in for Salisu if we thought we'd play somebody to play
what
Salisu.
about Alidu? Who's winning them?
Alidu was he not in the team?
No, he's winning this.
He's been playing. He's been playing and been playing very well.
Alidu wasn't coach. I don't know whether they are trying some other players or.
He actually played well.
It's an interesting lineup.
Actually, I didn't even notice he wasn't there.
Well, that's one of the first names I realized that was
And I know Kojo upon the price also injured. He has an hamstring. I don't know if he'll be ready by then.
maybe by that time.
Yeah. But aside that, I personally, so what I've realized is that they are trying to solve some issues in the team also. That's the right back, maybe the defense, and we are trying to find goal scorers, attackers, out and out strikers, which is something I believe they tried it with the. We've tried it with a few people.
Because our strikers are doing really.
We have forwards who can score, but I believe what we are looking for is speaker number 9. I know this guy solves the problem a bit, but I don't know if it's because of his size. Brandon.
Yeah, and there's one thing I like, he's very sharp.
Yeah.
Behind the penalty box.
He's very sharp.
Very, very sharp.
Inaki can play on the wing.
Inaki is better on the wing because
Yeah.
of his pace.
Because of his space. And let's say if you are playing threat top and he's playing on the right, it's cool. But I believe we are looking for goal scorers. There aren't a lot of typical number 9 diseases.
Yeah, no,
The likes of Alan and the rest are
I
practically.
think Salah and Mane changed the game.
Yeah.
So now most of the goal scorers are playing on the wing, and they use the strikers sort of a leeway.
If you're taking about typical strikers, most of them
They
are
are not
actually.
that many.
Yeah.
Haaland,
Harry
now
Kane,
Mbappe is also playing as a striker.
Lewandowski,
And Lewandowski, Harry Kane, and
Arsenal's new striker,
Gyökeres.
Gyökeres, Man U's striker also.
Yeah.
But there aren't many typical
Sesko.
number 9s. Sesko. There aren't many
Maybe
typical
like
number 9s.
maybe like he loves playing on the
Yeah,
right hand.
he can actually play on the left. So we need to probably, but it seems we're actually looking for one, and we probably need 1 or 2 at
I
least.
think Brandon will be okay.
Brandon is okay, but who goes with him? Jordan. So the Prince Edwin guy is also good, but he's lost some form. He's also a something. He's very calm in the box. Very, very calm in the box. If you see his goals, you understand why he scores. You know, most of the very great players, they say, what the interview,
By the strikers.
or even not even strikers, but most of, even if you pick the way people talk about Messi,
The calmness.
and people say that
Oh, yeah.
though he was quick, but they could tell that
Lineker thinks,
at his
suspects that at his own pace, he sees
very
everything slowly.
slowly, yeah.
I watched.
And that is the same thing with most very, very good strikers.
I watched an interview of this Dutch player. What did he mean? He played in Qatar against Messi. He said 2 things happened like 5 days from each other, and he was amazed. That is when he realized Messi wasn't human. Messi had the ball. There were 2 people on Messi trying to get the ball, and he came from Messi's blind side, thinking Messi was not going to save. As soon as he came, Messi took the ball and then said 5 minutes later, the same thing happened. Messi did the same thing. I was wondering, how did he see me?
He scans the pitch. He knows the issue is that he knows the distance. So if he plays and knows the pitch,
I think with him,
you can calculate distance.
instincts.
Aside instincts, you can calculate distance and how quickly people can get to him.
Or for some reason, he felt somebody was coming.
Yeah.
And just then, sometimes I don't even have to look at you. They know somebody is coming, so pack. And then he tell. For example, he also spoke about the pass Messi made during the Argentina, he made pass
And you know what?
Ake's legs. That went to one of the strikers. Up to now, the
Another issue too,
commentators are trying to make sense
if you
of that.
play under floodlights,
You see shadows.
you see shadows.
Yes, that one.
But nowadays, most of the floodlights is actually
It's not like the olden ones.
You can see shadows creep up.
Even up to now, that pass I don't understand. The one that went through Ake's legs and went to the striker. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so it's true. Calmness is one key. That's why
One key feature for central defenders and strikers.
That's why when people, some people watch Van Dijk, the typical centre back is aggressive.
Yeah.
They want you to go in for any tackle.
But I believe we'll make that, we'll argue that thing. I personally don't think he's a great defender.
No, I'm saying he's a great. I'm not saying he's the greatest defender.
That argument has been put out there, but I personally don't.
Even me as a Liverpool fan.
I personally don't even think
he's one of the best.
I personally don't even think he's the best Liverpool defender ever.
Ever since the only person I might mention is Alliansen, but Alliansen, when I started, he was on his way out. He was the one who presented the trophy to Liverpool when he won the last season. But in terms of skill, Van Dijk is better. Alliansen is your typical fearless, aggressive defender. But making those diagonal passes, that wasn't his. I don't know whether you get like in terms of
being a ball player.
Van Dijk is a very good footballer.
Yeah.
You could tell if he even wasn't a defender, was a midfielder, he would have been.
Which is Dutch.
Because
you are playing all positions. So.
Me, that's my best. If I'm watching him, the way he distributes the ball, sometimes just one quick ball, and it's I actually admire that crowd. And the only thing I admire about him with the defense is sometimes he's calm going into the challenge. Some defenders they want to slide tackle. I don't know, but go into the aggressive, but he's very calm, and that's one thing I like about him.
So since this is the last list we are going to see before the World Cup list, can we talk about, is there anybody here you think will lose his position?
Well, it depends on the game.
Benjamin Asare, and Joseph Anand.
The goalkeepers,
they are staying.
I doubt whether he will keep. But with the defenders, and I also know there are some international switches going on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when those switches are over, those players might actually.
I usually check. Yeah. Now I'm turning to the habit of checking the portal.
There's a portal of switches.
Yeah.
Okay. I've used many names.
I've seen Morocco. Morocco has.
Yeah, I think there's another Real Madrid player.
Morocco has made about 7 changes in the last 1 week.
There's a Real Madrid player who was also playing yesterday. Now apparently they're also talking to him. He was also born in Spain, but his parents are Moroccan. They want to. And I know in Ghana, there are a few players. You were the one who told me about a champion, right?
Yeah. I'm told it's very high.
And there might be maybe 2 other players who might be joining him. And those players will also change. Even you heard of the Lavia issue? Yeah, well, apparently his mom is Ghanaian, right?
His mom is Ghanaian, but the dad is Congolese. So he can also play for Congo.
But he can play for Ghana too.
Yeah, I can play for Ghana too.
But apparently he wants to play for Belgium.
I'm not surprised.
Yes,
usually when your parents fall on either sides of two African countries.
Oh, but what's his name? This player, I forgot.
This is the portal.
Oh, okay.
The list players will receive Morocco. 16th month. I don't know if you know the player. Are you
the same name since
I don't probably if you Google the name, we'll find a team it plays for.
Let's see the other news.
So the Dutch footballer, he is Dutch. He plays for Ajax. He's currently with Ajax. So they are making all the changes. So to find out whether so if you want to see all Morocco, let me just look for Morocco.
They need Ghana.
Ghana, yeah, we're coming for Ghana. Ghana, the last player to change was for the Black Wings, Kim.
Ah, yeah, I think I read that.
Ghana usually comes after all the revolutions. Guess it. So this is the league player that has changed the last year.
Ah, the lady.
If King. His change was in October. On October 30th.
The ones here are the ones that have been finalized.
That have been finalized. You
If
don't
it's
see
in
the
the
process. It's in the process. You won't see
Okay,
it.
okay.
So it's the ones that have been finalized. So let me look for Morocco for you.
What's the name of the website?
Change of association platform, FIFA. So the moment it's finalized, it's put in. But it's difficult to say because you can't type the federation in, so you have to go one by one here and search. Morocco was their federation. I just start with Rada.
I think it's Moya or something.
So it should be R Rada.
Moya something assist.
So okay. So it should be here. But let me. Federation Royal Moroccan.
You know, yesterday they also released a statement. No, but reading the statement, I don't know whether they are faking it, but they really seem thrilled. They said they've now heard the news and they will have a discussion with blah 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 blah, and then they let anybody else, as if they didn't know what it was.
They are just trying to let you believe that they have nothing to do with it.
But even me, if I was a Moroccan, I don't think I'll celebrate. You don't want to win. How do you win a trophy like?
So forgive me if you're Moroccan, forgive me.
Because you know
they'll have a parade for it. If like let's bet.
Oh, I won't be surprised.
They'll
I
have
won't
a
be
parade
surprised.
for it.
But you should
When
do
the
it
when the
before.
say they should go on the parade, they'll all go.
And if cars overturns the there, then no one issue. I remember.
Morocco is busy. See.
Oh yeah, they are. I heard that they are actually convincing a lot of players outside.
So in March, 3 players. So it wasn't actually 6 players, but since last year, since 2025, these are the players that have changed.
Like 10.
Yeah. Yeah. 10. It's actually 12 because it's only 10 that is appearing here, so it's 10 of 12. That is it, so it's actually 12.
Maybe they can help them with the AFCON that round.
But so a lot of countries are changing.
Yeah, in the World Cup here, these things are quite common.
Congo to a lot of players.
For the beer.
Yeah, for the beer.
So they will be playing the playoff, right?
Yeah, this match.
Who are they even playing? Out of the Caribbean team.
It's between Jamaica and another country.
Nigeria is also trying to use World Cup.
The only issue is that it's difficult to search.
I don't know.
You know, on a normal, if you type, let's say Ghana Football Association, if you type G, it should come, but it doesn't. It was okay. That's actually good. So let's see. Congo, what's that?
The French, they have weird names. Fekafo, Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. So with the Austrian game and the Denmark game, you're expecting victory, but you're just expecting us to win.
I need to see a clear direction as to where the team is going. How we are going to set up the seriousness. I want us to be serious with the friend. We don't take friendly games serious. That's why we are 70 something. Also,
I understand. And sometimes we take them in very far places. By the time we even get there, we are tired.
We don't take friendly games serious, but it's something we need to change. So, personally, if we beat Austria, I won't be surprised. We have a habit of beating European teams, the smaller European teams.
And we should be able to beat Austria. I think we should be able to beat Wales.
Yeah, we should be able to beat Wales.
Even Mexico. Okay, Mexico will be tougher.
We've never beat. For some reason, we always lose against the 1-0.
You know, I watched our last game in Mexico. In the UK.
Oh, okay.
The one that Patrick Entry, you remember Patrick Entry?
That back pass.
That back pass. I remember I went to see the saw that guy's Craven Cotton. Yeah. And I think was it ACN who scored the first goal? ACN scored the first goal in the first half. Ghana was playing very well. Then second half, they started making mistakes, and then the Mexicans. I remember that game.
That back pass.
I heard the guy never recovered again after that.
ACN has played very good football. We don't play such back pass towards you. We always put the side of the field so that when a good pass.
Oh yeah, it's true.
But I think the pass should always be diagonal. I should be straight inside the goal post.
I think the guy too was, I don't know, his concentration was a bit off.
Yeah, but you play it in such a way that when you make a mistake,
it will go outside.
It will go outside. That's how you play back pass into the post. You never put it inside the post.
I remember that game.
It is possible he may be tackled.
Or he might lose the ball.
Yes.
So you go outside rather than entering there. That is true. It's true.
You don't play a back pass towards.
I think that was the first cup for Eric. No, I remember he was Goal King Ghana at that time, and we played in that game. I was also there for the day I used first game.
So, I personally expect them to at least show some level of purpose.
Oh yeah, playing well, cohesion, looking like we have a game plan, something that we can.
And I personally believe anybody who has recently been added to the team should have displayed the teams. For us to know whether you are going.
Oh yeah. And we have 2 games. We have enough games to sort some of these things.
And if you are going to test players, you should be testing them against Washington.
Not Germany.
You should have your best team. You are starting a lamb playing because you can make changes to strengthen your team. But put European teams when they realize you are weak somewhere. They can easily score you 2 or 3 in 5 minutes.
Yeah. And it's happened to us.
Yeah. So don't go and concede 3 goals and come and change the second half is and it ends 3-0 or 4-0 or 5-0.
That's very typical of our time.
We don't want to be doing it.
That's very typical of
we tend to then we'll come and say it was a friendly game, so we're trying. Those excuses should stop. Like Japan, when we were playing Japan and Korea, they were ranked, I believe, 22nd and 24th or something.
Yeah. 2 friendly games.
They were, I believe, 22nd and 25th, something like that. If you had beaten those 2 teams, our ranking could have easily changed from the 70 something to around 60 or even 50 something. Why would they take it serious? We tend to do that, and
most of the players they win.
The ranking, the points for the ranking is taken over a period of 4 years.
I think with the starters, it's only Samayan and the goalkeeper. Most of the other guys were all people who are usually on the starting team.
The current team.
Yes, yes. It was second stream team.
Yeah, I am talking about those 2 games.
Yeah, yeah, those 2 games.
So I personally believe that those games we should take it serious. We shouldn't go and try any combinations. That is not where you go and try combinations. You should know how you want to play. Select your best players to play. If your best players do well in the first half, you come and stabilize the game in the second half, then the last 13 minutes give other players chances to play. Don't go and start with first 11. You probably will not use even an AFCON qualifier and say you're carrying a team against Austria or Germany. You don't want that.
We know that is all.
That is the excuses we make, and at the end of the day, after the mistakes have been made, we tend to try and brush it off, and when people are not allowing you to brush it off, they say they have issues with certain people in the FA, that's why they are talking. No. Do the right thing.
It's been happening for some
time.
Unless
I personally believe people make mistakes, but when you repeat your mistake, it's a choice. It's no longer a mistake.
For Chad, you should take something like this because it's an opportunity for him. If he does very well, he's building his own seed. So I just hope that he takes it serious and he doesn't allow a lot of interference so that he'll do the work himself. So 27th and 30th. 27th Austria, 30th Germany. I'm hoping that we don't get any injuries because nowadays I'm hoping that Kudus will be back in April, right? So we didn't make it to this one.
Yeah, Kudus will be back in April.
I think this
I also believe he should.
Lamptey too will be back in April.
Yeah.
There's another place who also will be back.
No, so Abdulmunen is back. Musavedu is back. Salisu and Francis Abu, they won't make it.
But I think somebody said Kudus had started training, but I think he's training alone. He's not training
yes.
with the team. So by April he'll be back.
And Kudus is delicate. It's an injury if you don't take care to repeat yourself. No, it's a muscle.
Okay.
So it might be a muscle tear or something.
You have to wait for the whole thing to heal.
Yeah.
Totally before.
And the issue is that if it doesn't heal well, you must strain it. That might take another 3 weeks. So it has to be.
And you heard he's going to Atletico.
That's what I don't know how far it's true.
Apparently, I did my checks. This is what I know. He will leave Tottenham any way possible. But I know he's talking to Atletico. But I haven't heard there's a Chelsea link to. I don't know whether you heard that one. There's a Chelsea link and there's a Atletico link. But I think he's more interested in the Atletico.
He actually moved very well in the Spanish league.
Yeah, I think he's interested in Atletico.
Maybe in the Italian league,
yeah. But apparently Chelsea was also interested.
If he has any intentions of playing for Real Madrid, if Real Madrid is doing, he shouldn't play for Atletico.
And there's a relegation clause in his contract. So if Spurs are relegated, he'll go cheap.
He might not go cheap, but he can force his way out.
No, apparently with that one, I think.
Or there's an amount they are supposed to sell for.
Because usually if you are going on relegation, the other team won't come and pay like if the player is valued 100 million, they won't pay you 100 million.
I know.
They'll give you maybe 50 or 60. And that time you are desperate, you need money to revitalize yourself and come back. So usually you get very good players at a very cheap price.
So who do you think we should add to this team if possible?
Okay.
What's your view on Nketiah and Go?
Ghanaians are
I'm told,
emotional when it comes to this.
I'm told Odoi practically agreed to change. So it's like, yeah.
They are plenty.
No, as no The one at Nottingham Forest.
Yeah. With
No.
him, I know.
He had agreed, but when the new English coach, England coach came,
What? Axel.
Touch also, I don't know why I'm messing up.
I'm confused with the name. I've seen him, but the name has escaped me.
The former Chelsea coach.
Former Tottenham and Irish coach. Even last time I was watching Sky Sports, his name came up for the Tottenham game. He was sacked Junior.
Who made us? Thomas, Touch, yeah. Touch, some would say Tuchel, whichever way you pronounce it.
Tuchel.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the former Ghana coach.
No, I'm talking about the English league. No, when England changed coaches.
He's now looking at him.
Yeah, he thought probably since he was doing one, so
now even
he slowed down his
interest. Tuchel has selection headache because now apparently I was watching Sky Sports the other time. People like Footy are even in trouble of being gone and not going to the World Cup because the amount of talent, and I think Tuchel is looking at current form rather than me. So last time we were saying that people like Footy and the one at Barcelona, what's his name? Rashford.
Might not.
They are even 50-50. But Rashford, I think Rashford will go because I hear Tuchel is a very big fan of the way Rashford plays. But might actually leave out Footy.
So do you think they should be able, if they want to change?
Me. This is me. This is not the views of Footy chat. This is the views of FIFA. So Ghanaians are overly emotional about some of these things.
So the issue is,
if there's a chance,
we are looking for strikers, and now we've settled on Daniel J, who has just scored 4 goals in the Turkish league.
Yes, it's 4 goals, but it's in the Turkish league, and we are now going to look at him.
Yes. So
we are not pretty sure whether he will fit.
So if you compare him to,
like these guys are already made their names.
Nketiah not far better?
Oh, of course.
So why not?
Even more experience. I don't mind adding them, but if you say Ghanaians want to bite the head of you, something. This is the thing. Especially if it's true that we're going to get 30 slots, take all these people. The most important thing is who is ready to play for you. And it's tricky because let's say that if you were born in the UK, your parents are Ghanaian, but you were born in the UK, but all the friends around you are English. You grew up, let's say you played for English under 16, under 17, and then like 21.
He actually won the World Cup with England.
Exactly. And let's say
not in Nketiah, but
Hudson.
Hudson.
And let's say there's even a chance that the manager of England is looking at you, and the Ghanaian coach approaches you. Still, you tell him to give you some time. So sometimes I want to be in their shoes a bit, but sometimes Ghanaians are overly emotional. They will say, he didn't want to play for us at that time. So, but okay, me, I'm a practical person. So sometimes, me, if there's a space in the team, take them. It doesn't mean automatically they are going to start. But if they are willing to go with them, I take them. But anyway, that's my opinion. So even last week, I was even saying something. He died. So maybe my thing is whoever the coach wants to take, they are own. Because I think it's a good team, but we need experience.
So do you think we can win against Austria?
I think we'll beat Austria. Okay. Now that's too strong. I think we can beat Austria. Okay. Me saying we'll beat Austria as if I know we can beat them. Okay. And I think we can also compete against the Germans. I'll be surprised if we draw against the Germans. I've watched them in their qualifiers They are a bit sluggish.
But most of the they
They struggled a bit to qualify. They had to come from behind.
Most about 2 of their games.
They lost their first game and then they won the rest. But there was a shaky start. The team they have now is not an exceptional team. And I think that one thing about the Black Stars is, even if you are not playing well, sometimes if we live for those big games, they can play awful in the first 5 games, and they will meet maybe in Brazil or how do you call it, Brazil and England or Spain. All of a sudden, they give you some extraordinary performance. So that's what I'm hoping for, at least to compete. And you give yourself confidence when you do that. Confidence when you do that. And you know that when you go into the competition, you'll be playing bigger teams. So at least you have to play above yourself. And that's what's lacking in the Black Stars. Sometimes, I don't know, if you watch them play, you kind of get discouraged. But hopefully we can do something. We can learn from these friendlies and